Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. My name is Jordan. I am the serial hobbyist, and if it's your first time here, welcome. If you're a subscriber, thanks for coming back once again. This is a place where I am sharing reviews of backgammon boards. I'm a lover of the game of backgammon, but I also love collecting these things just as much as I love playing on them. My collection is over 25 boards at this point, from small, compact, affordable boards up to tournament-sized luxury boards. And the one that I have today is somewhere in the middle of those two. This is from the company BACO. This is my fourth board from this company at this point, and I've been really impressed with their offerings so far. This is one of their medium-sized luxury boards. When they say their luxury line, they have metal rimmed checkers. There's a lot of things that I like about this board. There's some things that I would change, but today I'm going to talk to you about the specs, the measurements, to give you a close-up look at the checkers, the doubling cube, the dice, the cups, all of that stuff. We'll do a few practice rolls, and then I'll give you my thoughts on whether or not I think one of these is worth picking up and adding to your collection or not. Now, before we start, last couple seconds, if you're not already, consider subscribing if you enjoy this content by the end of the video, and ringing the notification bell so you don't miss more reviews coming in the future. Of course, like the video if you enjoy what you see. It helps the algorithm, and leave a comment down below on the board itself or just on my checker play. Okay, now BACO Backgammon, they're relatively new to the scene. I've mentioned this in my other previous videos. Their big thing is they are making bright, vivid, multicolor boards, things that are outside of the norm, the traditional blacks and browns and dark reds and greens that we're used to. For example, this one is hot pink and it's got red points, and it's my daughter who is 5. She's learning backgammon. It's her favorite board by far. She loves the colors. She always wants to be the red checkers. She always asks, Dad, when we get home, can we play on my board? So she's has adopted this one for herself. And I'm okay with that because it's really cool to see her get into the game. Now, this one is finished with I believe this is like a crocodile faux leather exterior here. Like all the other BACO offerings, we've got nice reinforced corners right here, nice metal clasps. We've got a very sturdy handle, and this board is fairly heavy for its size because of those metal rim checkers. It's nothing egregious by far, and it's fairly compact still. This would be a great cafe board, a great travel board, and I think that this crocodile exterior is pretty hard wearing. Like, there's some finishes, my Chrysloid fabric exterior, my Vito board, that I probably wouldn't want to put down on a dirty surface. This one I think would weather it, no sweat. Now, I've got my tape measure here before I zoom the camera in. We are looking at 10 inches wide, which means when this is open, probably just a little over 20 full width, and then in length we're looking at just under 16 inches, and then it's pretty thick. Thickness wise, you're looking at just under 3 inches, probably about 2 3/4. So pretty stocky board for how small it is, but again, it feels really solid and durable, like not hollow at all. Would make a great board for on the road. Now let's put the camera overhead and look at what's inside. Opening up the board, you can see we've got really nice contrasting pink and red points right here. They are inlaid, so set in, not printed on, to a neutral felt right here, kind of a canvasy felt material. I really like how this feels, and they are not raised, so even though they're inlaid, they're very flush with the board. However, they are the exact same leather as the exterior, which is something I commented on my last BACO board. It does lead to some issues with checker sliding when the checkers are made of the same leather. We'll get to that in just a minute. Since we've got them here, the cups, they are free floating. They are a nice compact cylinder, my favorite style. They do have a triplip on the inside, and they are fairly padded. They use the same leather on the outside and the inside. So let me just get the stock dice that come with this and give them a roll. Good sound. And one thing that I guess we'll kind of move to the dice as we do this rolling here. These dice, I feel like, are a little too big for this board. They're probably your standard 14 millimeter dice here. And I think for a travel size board like this, it's too big. They do have rounded edges. They are well done. They are marbled. They're not matching colors, unfortunately, which I don't like, but they're overall, they're good quality dice. I just think they're too big for this board. So give that a roll there. I'll show you what I replaced these with in just a minute. They do roll great on the board. This is the doubling cube that comes with it. It is quite basic, probably like the same one you get in any cheap board, white, black. Nothing exciting. I do think that this does not measure up to the overall quality of this board. This is their luxury line. I think that they should have components that match. Like in the full tournament size luxury board, the doubling cube is amazing. The dice match, it's excellent. I don't know why in the smaller one they cheaped out on that. So that is the stock dice and doubling cube. And also, doubling cube, same size as the dice. That's a no-no for me. I want there to be a size difference. So to remedy that, that's the stock stuff. We're gonna put those off to the side here. These are the dice that I had. So I have these tiny little 12, they might even be 10, super small dice here in matching colors to the board. I have a bulk pack of these that I bought for like $5 on Amazon. I have hundreds in different colors. And so these work great, and I feel like they're a much better size match to this board. You do have to have fairly good eyes to be able to see them, but they roll well. They're not precision, but if I can get it in the cup, I do think that they're a better fit, okay? And in addition to that, I had an extra translucent doubling cube that I pulled from, I can't remember, like a Sunny Life set, some commercial set, but you can see bigger size than the dice, a little more pizzazz to it than the plain white one, which I just don't think does this set justice. And so these were all things I had lying around. You shouldn't have to spend money and buy this stuff, which is unfortunate. So BACO, if you're listening, that is something that I would change. Now, I failed to mention when we opened up the board, they do have the BACO logo right here on a nice like chrome nameplate. I really like that. It's very simple. It looks nice. We'll throw these off to the side and we'll talk about the checkers, which are the star of the show in these BACO luxury boards. These are the smallest little metal rim checkers that I've ever seen, and they are quite weighty, very substantial in the hand. They feel and they look excellent. What's cool about them is that compared to the full-size tournament board, this has a metal rim that completely surrounds the edge. So it's not two separate rims, it's one band that goes all the way around. They're very hefty in the hand. You can hear kind of that sound they make when they hit each other. I really, really like these checkers, and it's the standout feature. It's the reason that you would pay more for this over a similar sized board. Now, one of the other downsides, unfortunately, with this board is the fit. You can see that that is way too loose, probably 8 millimeters, close to a centimeter. I use my pinky nail as my measurement tool. That's too much. So, I mean, you can play this, and again, like, obviously, if you know what you're doing, like, it's not the end of the world. But if you're paying this kind of money for a board, you want it to be a tight fit. Now, across, there's a ton of space across the board. So it's quite long in relation to the checker diameter. So we're gonna get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. The 13th does not get in there. So 12 across, plenty of room if you're about the length of the board. I don't really care that much about the length, okay? So let's get a match set up here. Oh, one thing that I forgot to mention, I mean, I kind of alluded to it earlier. These inlaid points, when you have leather on leather, it's sticky. Out here on this, no sweat, slides around easy. But getting a checker out of the base of a point and onto the field, I feel like the checker should be made of a different material than the surface or the points, okay? So that's one thing that I would suggest to BACO is that we I want the checkers. I'm fine with inlaid, but I think if you're gonna have, or leather checkers, excuse me, if you're gonna have leather checkers, your points should be inlaid felt or something else. They should be printed on. I like that they're made out of the same material, but as far as playability, not the best, okay? Get our 5 across here. We'll do a handful of rolls for each side, and then we'll cut to our outro to talk about final impressions. So I'm just gonna grab one of each dice here. I'm gonna use the small ones. It's gonna be tough to see. It's a 5 and a 4 for red. So I think we come out 4 here. Do you run this, or do you just kind of bring another checker down here? That's another opening roll that I'm not 100% sure. So we'll see. Go for pink now. 5 and 4, same thing. So we can't really, we could hit on the 1, but that's probably not the smartest. I guess my other option would have been to bring down builders on each, but I'm just gonna I'm gonna repeat the same thing that I did. 4 there and 5 there. Tell me if I'm wrong, people. Red's gonna get the 4-1, so we'll definitely anchor up here. And I guess if we gotta play 1, we might as well hit and start trying to slot our 5-point, yeah. And it works out for us, so pink will come in on the 4. We've got a 6 to use as well. I think, do we try and run out or do we try and get to safety over here? I'm gonna go that, less direct shots available. Okay, red here, coming with the 4 and the 2. Use this to hit, but then we're gonna be left with something ugly somewhere. Can't hit here. I'm just gonna make the point. That's what I'm feeling there. Probably should spend more time analyzing these. 3 and 1. 1 and 3, probably gotta hit with pink. Let's do one more roll for each. One more for red. 1. Ooh, do we bring all those down? 1, 1, so we can hit. Except what is the last one? Maybe bring that over. Guys, I would spend more time thinking about this if we weren't in the middle of a review. 6 and 4. Oh, blocked out. Is that a cube spot? Okay, tell me guys, would this be a red offering cube moment? I'm trying to learn my cube rules. Let's cut to an outro. So that is my review of this BACO medium size luxury board. I really like the full metal rim checkers. I love the leather inlay on the points and on the checkers themselves. The fit is not perfect. I think they could shore that up, especially for the price. I think people would care about that. I do think that more appropriately sized dice and doubling cube for this size of board would be great. Obviously something that matches the checkers and the points, the colors on the points is what I would prefer. I always advocate for that. But all in all, I like it. If you are looking for a heavy checker feel in a small board and you just don't have the space to make an 18 or a 21-inch board work, this thing is great, and it gives the feel of a bigger board than it actually is. So I like it. I think pink and red, thanks to BACO for sending this over. My daughter loves it. There's other colors I'd like to try as well with this guy. I'll include a link down below if you want to check it out through there. Thanks to BACO for helping me keep bringing you reviews, and stay tuned. There'll be more coming in the future. The collection is always growing. I'm in talks with a few more manufacturers to get some cool tournament size boards here on the channel. That'll be it for today. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.